Okay, here we are with episode 5 of Dark Souls 101. And just recently we've taken down the Great Wolf Sif. And the reason I've taken Sif down this early in the game is because I wanted to open up a covenant called the Dark Wraiths, which is kind of a secret-ish covenant. Because if you don't take Sif and the Four Kings down before you give the Lord Vessel to the other snake, you don't have access to it for that game. Well, until you get to New Game Plus or Plus Plus or wherever you happen to be in Dark Souls. I'm just going to take a quick look at my stats here. Get a feel for what I'm doing again. It's been a little while since I've recorded anything. So, in order to progress, I'm going to have to move into Anor Londo, an area that is covered by ghosts and dark wraiths. Surprise, surprise, right? Sorry, I have a bit of a cold, so if you hear me not saying anything or sniffling or anything, I apologize for that. So, in order to get to Anor Londo, we have to go up past Firelink Shrine. Oh, this is going to be bad. Did I kill Lautrec or not? If I haven't killed Lautrec, it's going to be a fairly good run every time I die down in Londo. Because there is no bonfire down there. So, maybe I should, actually, I have 43,000 souls. Let's go do something with those souls first. Now, as I stated in the previous video, I'm going to try for Artorias' Greatsword. Which means I should be pumping these into stats, but instead I'm going to buy magic. A couple of new spells. Which I don't have the intelligence to use right this second, but I plan on having eventually. Oh, that's another thing I can do. Okay. Yeah, before we head there, actually, spend souls first.
Hello there. What have you been up to? I thought that perhaps you'd gone hollow on me. So have you come to further your study of sorcery?
And I'm gonna buy Logan's big bad spell here, the Soul Spear. And I'm gonna buy Magic Weapon as well.
I will stay.
Just so I could demonstrate it later. Okay, now that we're not carrying a pile of souls around that I can lose. I was planning on going to Anor Londo, or even Anor Londo, to get the Lord Vessel first, and get some souls for a little bit more power. But then I remembered I hadn't done this yet. And this is a little bit of a secret here too. If you step off the lift here, you can get into a little bit of a secret area. Oop, missed that jump. Whoops. And of course, if you miss the jump, it just lands you in that little treasure room there. kill a couple of these skeletons. Just so they're not following me around everywhere. And there's the big snake Frampt. He pops up when you ring both bells of awakening. I think I may have explained that already. Again, it's been a little while since last I recorded. Don't exactly remember what I've done and haven't done. Now, that side of the elevator is easier to get off, because this side leads to just this little patch here. So you have to kind of walk and be careful. Alright, try number 2. Oop. There we go. And you walk up this little plank here. And yeah, I'm going to have to do it again, because what you need is here. And it's a key. Now, if you've been watching this from the start, you'll remember that there was a locked gate in the Undead Asylum that even with the Master Key you couldn't open. That's the key that opens it. And to get back to the Undead Asylum, you have to get back in the way you got out. Oh, you're kidding me. Did they move that slightly farther away, just so I can't just roll off? I actually have to jump now? Alright. Stupid updates. Now, another thing I should be doing is farming up some souls and buying the miracles from Petrus down there. And while miracles aren't as damaging as sorcery, they have uses. I mean, the base one the cleric starts with, heal, doesn't seem that great, but when you're only getting 5 Estus flasks from a bonfire, and you're new to the game taking damage from everything, it's a good little spell to have. It's a good out-of-combat heal. You can see I've curled up like a little ball here in this nest. This is to trick the crow into carrying me back to the Undead Asylum. It takes a few seconds, though. And you get this nifty little cutscene. Here we are back at the Northern Undead Asylum, where you started the game. And you can see a lot of the dregs around here seems to have armed themselves now, rather than just letting you pound them into the ground. But you also get a lot more souls for killing them. Also, while I'm here, I can demonstrate this.
You, give me warm, give me soft.
Now, Snuggly has a whole list of things that she'll take from you. And rubbish, here we go. Has absolutely no impact on the game whatsoever to your character other than trading to the crow. And the fast way to do this, since it takes an area restart for her to pick up the item and take off, but you could force it by quitting the game. And of course you have to go through the horrible little loading screens that Bandai Namco has decided to put in here, rather than just take you to the login thing, probably to help prevent from people doing this. It's annoying.
You.
Yeah. And you can see that she's left me a little present here in her nest. A Titanite chunk, in exchange for my rubbish. And there's a whole list of things online that you can look if you want to go through the entire trade thing with her. And even when you load back in, everything that's dead in the world still stays dead. It's not like I've rested at a bonfire. Now, if you didn't come here specifically to fight a boss, do not walk on this weak-looking floor. Avoid it at all costs. The fight down there is kind of difficult. So resting at a bonfire is recommended before you take on the Stray Demon, which is a lot like the Asylum Demon, except he's a lot bigger and a lot stronger. And up here we have Black Knights that have moved into the Undead Asylum here. And if you're coming here as a fresh character, you're going to want a critical weapon, like a rapier or a dagger or a bandit knife or something like that, to take these guys out. But since I'm a much higher level character than a fresh character now, I can just kind of power through them. Ooh, a red Titanite chunk. Nice. And in the last episode, I explained what the different chunks were. The colors just kind of coordinate up against the element that you're going to be doing for Magic Weapon Ascension. And here we have the wonderful individual that lets you out of your cage. He's gone hollow, because he no longer has a purpose in the story. Well, in the current story. If you look through the game code files, this guy, his name was Oscar, had an entire plot line with the character. And you can see he doesn't do a lot of damage to me, because this is a lower level area than I'm supposed to be in here. And I have some decent magic resist on the Pyromancer set. And I'm just gonna power through him, trade hits. And he drops a unique shield, the Crest Shield. It has the best magic resistance in the game for a medium shield. Now another thing that resets is this. Wonderful giant ball trap. This jackass at the top of the stairs kicks at you. And the item I'm about to get would have been really helpful in the swamp if I remembered to get it first. Oh, too early on my parry attempt there. Enough of that game. Just messing up parries all over the place. Gonna have to stick with block for a while till I get my timings back. Yeah, there we go. Rusted Iron Ring. And what the Rusted Iron Ring does is lets you move at full speed when you're in water. So the whole time you're in the swamp, if you have this Rusted Iron Ring, you can run at full speed. So you're much less likely to get poisoned by the poison water there. Now there's a second item down here that kind of spawns in after you've left the asylum for the first time. Sorry, had to sneeze for a second there. And it's back in your old cell. And it too is a key. But it's a key to an entire, like, secretish area. That was bad stamina management on my part. Another red Titanite chunk. And yes, this weird little peculiar doll is what we came all the way down here for. Now I might spend a humanity kindling a fire down here, just so I have 10 flasks for the upcoming boss fight. I'm not going to say I'm going to win this one, but it's definitely a fight that's going to be difficult for me. And as I've probably stated in a previous episode, every bonfire that you kindle in a game persists into your new games. So new game plus, what have you. And what sucks about this boss fight is you have to take a hit to get into it. So be prepared for that. And a good strategy against the Stray Demon here is the bleed effect. So if you have a high bleed weapon, it's super effective against this guy. Oop, too soon. You can tell when he's going to do his close range AoE, because he'll raise his hammer above his head like that. And you can just back off. It has a much less effect zone when you're standing behind him. But getting to stand behind him is kind of tough. Oh, yeah, took that one. Should have just kept my shield up and blocked. I'm surprised he hasn't been throwing fireballs at me. He has a third move. Oh, there it is. Where he throws a fireball behind you and dead angles you. Like that. It's a very cheap and cowardly move. Because it dead angles you so perfectly. Down you go, Stray Demon. And you get your standard humanity and homeward bone, but you also get a Titanite slab. And the Titanite slab is the final piece for a reinforcement. It's what gives you either a plus 10 on a piece of armor, or plus 15 for standard reinforcement, or a plus 5 if you go the lightning reinforcement path. I always get lost down here. There's a ladder around here somewhere. Oh yeah, there you are. Of course, the one with a little red glow there. Silly me. And that finishes out the Undead Asylum. It's a very quick little area, but you get a lot of decent loot out of it. Especially if you do this area before you go into the swamp. That's a difficult boss fight to take, but if you have a bleed weapon, it makes it cake. Yeah, it's a good thing I kindled that fire too, or I would have run out of Estus flasks. Now, what I think I'll do is I'll proceed into Anor Londo, because there's a lot of high soul-yielding enemies in there for me to farm to get the levels I need to wield Artorias' greatsword. Now, you can claim the Lord Vessel before you get into the Darkwraith Guild, so long as you do not give it to Frampt, and you fight the 4 kings first. You're even allowed to talk to Frampt, and if you have any extra gear that you don't want, Frampt is the sell merchant, as it were. You can feed him items to get a little bit of extra souls. Oh. Okay, yeah, that one's fine. Now, I'm also going to come over here with the 20,000 souls I got from the Stray
hello.
Demon.
I appreciate the attention, but
I'm going to buy the Bellowing Dragon Crest ring to boost the effects of my magic.
all right.
Sorry, Petrus, you get left out in the cold again. I might buy your miracles one day. I don't normally play faith characters. I just find pyromancy and sorcery so much more useful than miracles. I mean, yeah, you get Wrath of Gods down the Faith Tree, which is a very powerful close-range AoE spell. But exactly that, you have to get close to somebody to light it off. You see it a lot in PvP, is Wrath of Gods. Okay, I have a +9 Tattered Robe. That's where all my large shards went, and chunks. That makes a little bit more sense. Now, if anybody's played Demon Souls, you recall that there was one Archstone you couldn't go through, and it was to the Land of Giants. And people have been making the connection that perhaps here in Anor Londo is where that Archstone is, connecting the two Souls games. They wanted to go for a completely original game, but it just didn't sit well with the fans, I guess. And fish for a backstab just so I can heal. Now, another thing I've probably shown you guys is the Titanite demons that live down there. And you can lock onto them right about here. Don't have my bow equipped. I got a lot of rapiers. Alright, we'll put the longbow on. And from up here, this first Titanite demon, you can just kind of whittle down a bit from up here. And there are 4 Titanite demons that live down in that basement. So if you're going to be going for a demon weapon, it's a good place to get some upgrade materials. And yeah, this will take a couple of minutes to do, but it's much safer than going down there and fighting them. Now, archery is a weird thing in this game. A lot of people can't rely on it for close-range combat, and well, you can't. But lately I've been watching some videos online of people that have been going pure, archer builds. And it works surprisingly well. So if you're looking to be a ranged character, the bow is definitely a viable choice over magic, so long as you crank a lot of points into dex and upgrade it accordingly. The only difference is a plus 15 bow cannot be affected by resin, I don't believe. Oh, not quite dead yet. How about now? There we go. Now this fall won't kill you, as long as you're at full health, but it'll damn well try. Now you can see that I'm moving at a reduced run speed here in this basement, but if I flick over to the rusted iron ring, I get my full character speed. Now, if you look closely up on that ledge, you can see the 3 caster type snakes. These guys are a pain in the ass. Mainly because there's 3 of them. And they're up on a ledge that you can't really get to easily. So if we try and derp them out a little bit, kind of wish I had more intelligence. My shield back on here. Still alive, eh? I wanted to save these spells for this Titanite demon down here. Timing your roll on that jump attack is hard. You have to roll not when they're in the air, but right when they're about to land, or the attack still hits you. Or you could just slowly back up. That makes them miss it too. But then you run into the problem of running yourself into a wall. Another demon Titanite. But behind this Titanite demon, it's a little bit of a loot room. Soul of a Brave Warrior. And this right here, the Scythe. I think you count as a polearm, so you should be down here. Yeah. It's a cool looking weapon. It attacks much like the halberd does. Except its combo isn't a poke. For its light attack, it's chop and sweep. I don't get to see the Scythe very often in PvP. I'm not sure why. It seems like it'd be a very viable weapon. But I'll take that off for now. Go back to my Itao. Now I'm out of heal items, so I might retreat back. No need. There's 2 more Titanite demons down there, but I don't have the magic or the healing needed to take them on right now. And I don't need the demon Titanite that badly. Right this second. Once I craft Artorias' greatsword, I might come back for him. And if you remember the cutscene, when I first rang the second Bell of Awakening, there's the giant, there's his chain. The Land of Giants. Anor Londo, the final Archstone. And you gotta watch out for their whirlwind attack. It could do serious damage if you don't have your shield up. But luckily, they get tired after it. Another Titanite chunk. That'll go a little ways. Now what I'm probably going to do is buy some small shards after I check my small shard count here. Oh, okay, I still have lots of those. Never mind, we'll continue to save souls. Alright, almost to where I wanted to be, I think. Yes, we'll do it this way. Still not strong enough to take on the 4 kings. My stats are far too spread out. A land of lords, a city of giants, Anor Londo. Now these giant guys there are a real problem. For anybody playing a ranged character, definitely a problem. Their shields are 100% resistant to everything. So if the path of your weapon happens to travel through their shield, you're not going to do any damage. They're too big for backstab animations, and they have a really wide attack range. And here we have Dusk, or Dark? I forgot this one's name, actually.
Well, you are a rare visitor. Welcome to the lost city of Anor Londo, chosen undead. If you seek Lord Gwyn's old keep, exit here and head straight yonder. If you are the chosen one, a revelation shall visit thee. What follows thereafter depends upon you.
And she's a firekeeper, so if I had some firekeeper souls, I could trade them to her to reinforce my flask farther.
What is it? What am I? Well, I am the keeper of the bonfire. If not for me, what beacon would there be in this lost city? A gatekeeper and a guide. That is my calling.
So we'll rest here at our fire. And since this bonfire is held by a keeper, it's already kindled up to the first stage and gives you 10 Estus flasks. Now we're going to go take on some of these giants here, because they give a decent amount of souls, but can be somewhat dangerous if you're not ready for them. So long as you don't hit their shield, you could sneak a couple of shots through. But you can see that really wide attack arc that he has. And it does a lot of stamina damage as well, if your shield isn't upgraded. Now his stab is where you can really start getting some damage in. You can sneak up under his shield. He also has a shield slam, which is your time to strike. Now, since he's walking straight, I could sneak a few of these past his shield. But you can see there, tapping on his shield, did no damage. Now, he started walking towards me. And no matter what I've done, I've never been able to break their shield guard. So just continually slamming a weapon up against their shield does nothing. So, you do what any short character has to do, you bite their frickin' ankles off. Now that message there was trying to warn me off because there are mimics in this area. And a lot of people looking to get ratings to get their humanity up. Get my Estus flasks back, get my souls. My soul arrows back, I should say. I wish I could equip Soul Spear, but I need 36 intelligence to do that. So, when engaging the giants from range, you want to come at them on a little bit of an angle, so that you can try and sneak a few of these past their shield. Pyromancy's not a bad bet against these guys, because you might be able to tag them in the shins. Oh, hitting his shield there, not doing any damage. Haha! Run from me! Oh, shield slammed. Two-hand. Now, there's a quick reference to see what's a mimic and what's not. The chain on the side of the mimic, or the side of the treasure chest, you see how it's curled backwards? That means it's a safe chest. But the chain on this one is kind of stretching forward a little bit. That's a mimic. And you can see somebody's actually being helpful and left me a message there. So what I'll do is I'll give him a humanity. Seems like a decent thing to do. Now, if my character would kindly quit kicking the treasure chest, that'd be nice. Now, mimics, while wildly clumsy, can do a lot of damage if they do catch you with an attack. Ah, Crystal Halberd. Crystal is the best, in my opinion, upgrade in the game for a weapon to take. It's much better than going plus 15. It uses the same amount of resources, or the same kind of resource, as standard reinforcement. You have to find a special ember for it, of course, and there's only one blacksmith that can do it, and it's the giant blacksmith here in Anor Londo. But it gives you a better weapon. It destroys the durability on the weapon, though. You get only 1/10 the durability the weapon normally has. But that doesn't matter, because you can still enchant it, or buff it up with your resins or magic. Which, if you smith a buff into a weapon, making it magic or lightning, you can't do anymore. So if you're a pure physical character, with only a tiny bit of magic for buffs, Crystal is a great upgrade. Oh, just made it. Yes, this elevator kills people every now and again that are trying to rush forward. Now, did I get one or not? Yeah, I know I'm doing a lot of inventory searching on this character right now, I get that. But no, I don't have one. So here's my chance. There's very few of these enemies in the game, but it's a reincarnation of the Bell Gargoyles. You fight 2 on top of the church, but there's another 2 here in Anor Londo. There we go. However, these ones fly a lot more than the ones on top of the church did. And have a lot more HP. And breathe lightning instead of fire. I did not know they did that. Ooh, helmet as well. Excellent. The gargoyle helmet is a very, very good helmet. If I go down here, you can see it has 15 defense across the board for 3.5 weight, which makes it so much better than any of the knight helmets that are just as heavy, but don't give anywhere near as great magic resist. It also has 8 poise, so if you're a low endurance character, the gargoyle helmet is a very good choice to wear. There should be treasures around here, if I remember right. A couple of summon signs. Curled chain, not a mimic. Another demon titanite. Thank you. Now these things look like ladders, but they're actually just, you know, decorations on the walls when you're running past them quickly. And here your character gets a little ballsy. Tightrope block. Nice little message there. Now I'm human in Anor Londo. This is another PvP hotspot. Oh shit. Thank God. And in here we go. And you can see there's a couple of guys sitting around waiting to ambush you. So, I'll just back up a little bit. Tag you in the face. Come on down and play. Nope, you're gonna sit up top and throw daggers. Oh, his buddy didn't aggro. Now these guys dual wield, and they have a very quick weapon. But they're very poorly armored, so you can usually take them down in a hit or two. And they drop throwing knives. Throwing knives are an interesting weapon choice. They're very quick to deploy, and you can have your sword and shield out. But they have no scaling stat or anything like that. So they're really a last resort type weapon if somebody has the range advantage on you and you're not equipped with a bow or magic to retaliate. Another means for attack is the poisoned throwing knife, which is much better because it inflicts poison. There we go. Tag you in the head. Come on down, friend. Now he's probably going to try and engage from a range. Oh no, he's coming right in. Oh, shield out, Jeff. Take those. Continue to tightrope block. Tight ropes around here. You fall, you die. But it's wide enough you're allowed to make a few minor adjustments here and there. Yeah. Anything with a chain that dangles, cut off. Especially if it has loot on it like that. Oh yeah. He's just gonna try and sit back and throw daggers at me. And since the daggers are much faster than a bow, if you don't have it out already shooting, it's not worth trying to break it out. I hate these guys. Oh, fuck. Yeah, definitely hate those guys. Because you don't... Their combo doesn't stun off your shield. So if you open up, they're still going to hit you. Everything like that. So now we got to go back. A lot of people run directly into the elevator hole. Always wait for the elevator to come back for you. Now, to give myself a little bit more range and a more straightforward type of attack, I'm going to put my halberd back on. So I won't be able to dodge roll off those things anyway. Or if I had the magic, the sorcery magic shield equipped, it increases your shield stability by a lot. So you can block all day till the buff runs out. But you can see that the gargoyle didn't respawn. Now the only problem with the halberd is it has a very slow recovery time and it has the stagger step when you attack. So if you're using the halberd, it's important not to stagger step off a ledge. But since these guys wear robes, they're really easy to stun lock with a heavy weapon. Of course, there is also this other method, and that's to try and knock these guys off with headshots. Nope, no headshot. Dropped too much. Oh. Back my souls. I hate tight ropes in games. I hate tight ropes in games a lot. And here we have the turntable. And a second Guardian Gargoyle. Just waiting for you. But what we do is we run over here, we hit the switch. That pivots this entire assembly. But now we don't have to go through that section anymore, because it opens up a shortcut here. Now, if you didn't have a tail axe before, you could get another one from this gargoyle. Strategy, since most of his attacks are sweeps, is to just fight him on a lower ground, so his attacks sweep right over your head. Halberd and shield. That's the entire gargoyle set. The gargoyle halberd is a normal halberd. It can follow the standard reinforcement path. It weighs the same, it has the same durability to DD scaling instead of a CD scaling. But it adds to your resistances if you have it equipped. And it has a different attack profile than the usual halberd does. It's much more slashy than pokey. Its power attack is the same really broad sweeping thing. So that's nice. The crystal halberd is a standard halberd. You have your poke, broad slash, just like the normal halberd, except much more damaging. Like you can see the 242 on a +0 crystal halberd. It retains its DC scaling stat. Everything about it's the same. It's just a lot stronger. But you'll notice its durability goes down to 20. So you can't use it for a very long time before needing to repair it. Yeah, if you kill enough of these guys, they will drop their weapon eventually. It's called the Painted Guardian Sword. It's a very fast weapon. Very dex intensive. But these guys kind of know how to work as a team a little bit. They will try and flank you, or one will attack you from the front. The other will throw things at you. Very well. We'll have a heal-a-thon. Oh, they've switched over to their shields. They're just basic little round shields. Bucklers, I think. Which is good, because I hate it when they dual wield. Blocking was the wrong choice there, I should have rolled. I'm not sure what kind of throwing daggers these guys use, but I can never get mine to do that much damage. Yeah, there's greater magic weapon as well. So a slightly stronger buff on your weapon. Since their weapon is so short, ranging these guys is a useful tactic. Thank you for the humanity that you stole from me up top. Now, if you fought the Iron Golem with Iron Tarkus, his equipment set is here, next to this painting. Black iron set. It's very heavy, very good poise, and it specializes in fire defense as well as physical defense. Now, if you have the peculiar doll, you can inspect this painting. This is the painted world of Artemis. And you cannot escape from the painted world of Artemis until you've completed it. So we're going to spend our time in here for this episode. Or at least a little bit of time. I'll probably cut the recording short before we finish the painted world of Artemis and finish it up in the next episode. But this is a very, very evil place. I'm gonna become human again. And since this is the only bonfire in the painted world, I'm gonna kindle it. Make sure I have the maximum amount of healing I can get. Because the enemies in here hit like trucks. If you let them hit you, that is. My parrying hasn't been quite up to par today. Now, you can see there's guys dangling off chains. If you're a good shot with the bow, you can take it off and collect the treasures. Do a little bit of exploring here. Oh, hello guys. You can see I took 2 hits there, and it did nearly all of my HP. And 300 souls for killing a dreg is a lot of souls, so they do hit hard. They still have very low life and no armor, so that makes up for it. Now you have to be careful up here. You can see all the enemies sitting on the tops of buildings there. Those crows are very powerful enemies indeed. Here they come. I call them crows, they're more like harpies. But you can see that they have very powerful attacks. You have to be very careful. Oh, and I'm gonna die to a grab attack here. Now, if you're playing the game solo style, like Never Being Alive, and you've joined the Dark Moon Blades, those crows drop the Covenant item, the Souvenir of Reprisal. It's a very rare drop chance, kind of like the Eye of Death from the Basilisks. But you can turn it in and get everything you want from the Covenants if you farm the crows here. going to switch back to my Ito here, because I think I'm going to need something faster. While the range poke is nice, I'm going to need something that swings a little quicker. And the bleed effect is a very useful attribute to have on a weapon. Come on, die and get out of the way. Now, let's see if we can summon these crows back. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, you have to really watch out for when they fly. That's the signal to their grab attack. But they're worth 1,000 souls each. So if you can get a good farming routine down on them, they're quite worth it. Oh. Caught me. Killed me again. I don't think you can escape that grab attack. Anyway, those crows don't pop up unless you wander over to that corpse. Nope, Albert's definitely going to be better. But as you can see, the Painted World is a great place to farm up souls. Everything here has a really high soul count to it. You die really easy in the area if you're not paying attention and not fighting as well as you should. But there's no reason that you'd actually have to fight those crows unless you got that Soul of a Proud Knight, I believe it was. Now these things with tumors for faces, they poison, toxic, and breathe fire. Not to mention they carry a torch for fire damage. Now, as they're dying, they release a poison cloud. So if you're taking them on in melee, you want to have a very ranged weapon, like the halberd here, or you want to be rolling out of the way quickly. Ooh. Take that shot in the face from fire. No, none of that. The rats in the Painted World are a little different. They're white, but they still are the exact same rats. They have a lot more HP, they still poison if they hit you, and they're white. Other than that, no difference. And they're worth a lot more souls. Oh, don't stick me in the corner. There we go. Now, you can weaken them down with your melee weapon. Just tag them with a bow to avoid the poison. Backstabs, Also very good, because they don't release their poison until very later. You can also use magic to try and take them down, but since my intelligence sucks right now... there's no point. Again, sound is really important to hear those footsteps sneaking up on you. Oh, hello, friend. That's as far as you can come on this little excursion for now. But clearing out enemies is always a good thing. The dregs love to crawl up ledges. Happens several places in this area. Also, you'll recognize another one of our old friends over there. The zombie dragon. There's also an armor set that hides over there. It's the black cleric type robes that the partner Oswald carries in the Undead Church. Now I'm going to clear out this area a little bit so I don't aggro anything by mistake. Oh, yeah, there's one of the crows. Make it stay down there. Luckily their grab attack, like most grab attacks, is still very short range. Their wing hit has a decent arc to it. Locked by some contraption. But to finish off the painted world, all I'd have to do is run through this fog here into the final section. But since there's still a lot of loot left to be had in the world, I'm not going to do that quite yet. Okay, cleared that crow out, so it's not going to come up and kind of jank me in the back. This boss fight's kind of simplistic. But if you're not paying attention, you're gonna get dead. So he'll come racing forward, but he'll stop right about there. And depending where you're standing, he'll start spewing this toxic crap everywhere. And then he'll readjust to where you're standing now to breathe this toxic crap, so you run up. Nope, missed. That's not good. So we'll just roll down there. So he can't, you know, breathe on me. He'll then readjust to where I am. And the halberd is not the best weapon to be using for this. So I'm going to go hide down this flight of stairs to change out my gear. Yeah, I need something more vertically slashy, I guess. We'll go with the E-Tau. Always take these extra, like, bonus souls off. Why am I still wearing that ring? That could have been much easier than it was being. There we go. Alright, he sees me standing down here. He'll start breathing. Come up here. Miss him a couple more times. He starts breathing there. You can also hit him in the talons here if you're having troubles hitting him in the face. caught on that now. He's also got melee attacks. Caught me. And you want to get out of the way of that toxic sludge as quickly as possible. And since he's a dragon, he's got a lot of HP. He also doesn't bleed. Or at least not very easily. That's not good. That don't kill me. Nope, still good. Haha! Pyromancer robes, gotta love them. Another way to do this is to just kind of take cover here. And just alter where you're casting from. A little bit too far down the stairs. And again, you can move while the greater soul arrows are charging up a little bit. I really hate when he makes it look like he's breathing down the center, but that doesn't. Now, I'm taking a lot of silly hits that I shouldn't be taking. But it's okay. He's almost done. Dragon scale. And here we can watch some poor sod trying to go in two-hand style. And just gets railroaded when the dragon came charging up. Now you can see that there's a second set of staircase there that leads all the way up to the top of this tower. And at the top of the tower is another soapstone that you could place down for challenges. It's called the red soapstone, and it's for people that really enjoy PvP. You can just drop down these red soul stones, or soapstones, and anybody else that clicks on these summons you into their world, but it's as a challenger to do PvP. That giant blob of spears and shields is reminiscent of the first boss of Demon Souls called Phalanx. And we'll not fight him right now. Instead, we're going to come down here, and down here is very dangerous. There's a lot of what's called bone wheels, and it's those guys there. And these guys are very dangerous, because if they impact your shield, they don't actually stop their attack. And apparently I can't swing my sword in this tiny, tiny space. So it's not going to end up well. Because he's just going to bowl into me and kill me. Bone wheels are by far my least favorite enemy. They always hide in very dark spaces where you can't see them at all, and will always hit you in the back when you're least expecting it. So for those tight corridors, I'm going to switch back to the, well, after I kill these guys, of course. Switch back to the halberd. That's the other way. Of course. One thing goes wrong and all of a sudden everything starts going wrong for you in this game. So, rather than waste a flask, I'll just run back here and heal. And yes, there is a way to open this door so that you don't have to continually run around the top of the fortress. But until you open it up, you gotta keep making the lap. But that's okay. These guys are worth a lot of souls, so I should be able to get into my greatsword build very quickly, as long as I'm able to recover the souls that I've lost. You see how much that cranked up my toxic, just getting hit momentarily by that poison blood spew that they give off when they die? Well, there is a way to get that. You have to come up from the other side. Don't try and waste your time dive rolling for it. I'll just waste a few seconds here killing these rats until my poison meter, or toxic meter, I should say, cools down. That fall will kill you, don't try it. Get that shot in. Okay, Dick, you die now. Now, of course there's bodies dangling out here, so you could just give a little poke to their ropes and add to the loot pile down below. You can see phalanx around that statue, just waiting. Now I'm not going to go all the way up, because there's no call for it. I'm also not going to summon that guy over the ledge. Actually, what I can do is just kind of... Oh, you're going to crawl up before you get to poke your fingers, make you fall to your death. Luckily, zombie dragons stay dead. Now, another way to go is to fall down here. And you can see, you know, loot all over the place in the fortress here. However, you're also going to be attacked by crows. Or at least you can hear them aggroing somewhere. Now there's one safe place down. Oh, there it is. Alright, let's go. Now luckily, while their wing beats do a lot of damage, you can shield guard them easily. And occasionally these things will just kind of jump to their somewhat death. It's a long run back, Crow. But the safe way down is to fall into this open area here. And it hurts a little bit. So if you have the magic fall control, it will negate the damage that you take. Into this rat-filled cellar. And we'll take a quick look here and see the chain on this chest. So we're not going to trust it, so we'll give it a tap. Nope, not a mimic. Good enough. And it's the Painted Guardian armor set. It's lightweight, so you can roll around a lot. I'm not sure what it actually specializes in, if anything. Oh, there you are. It's actually got a very good amount of magic, fire, and lightning resist for its 1.6 weight, but very low physical resist. So if you know you're going to be facing a caster type boss, or there's a lot of caster type creatures in an area, that's a very good armor set to put on. I'll just turn around, make sure nobody's following me. And he's just going to stand up here at the top of the ladder. Get out of here. And there's that treasure in this window. Now, before you go bailing off the ledge, there's a doorway over here. And if you take it nice and easy through that doorway, you grab an egg vermifuge, which gets rid of the parasitic egg in your head, if you ever get parasited again, or if you haven't been down to Quaylag's domain and got Enchi to give you one yet. But that's how you get those treasures up there. Now, Phalanx down there is very vulnerable to fire, so having the large splash damage AoE from Pyromancy really helps take that out quickly, and it's worth a lot of souls. So it's a pretty good farm right in there if you have Pyromancy equipped, which I do not at this time. Kinda wish that I did. That treasure came from the rope I cut up top, and we'll just climb down this ladder here. Reclaim my humanity and souls, and challenge this bone wheel again. There's about 12 of them down here, so you have to be very careful that you don't have your back turned to darkness for a very long time, or you just kind of run into these guys. And now that I'm not banging my weapon off the wall, I could take these guys down with relative ease. They're worth 800 souls, which is a lot of souls. And there's a lot of hidden passageways down in these little catacombs here. But they stand out kind of like a sore thumb. And you can see that guy tried to backstab me at Bone Wheel, so we'll not give him the opportunity to do it again. Oh, that's not good. Two of these guys at once will chew through your stamina and still hit you hard. Oh, shit. You can see why I dislike Bone Wheels an awful lot. So So here we are back at the start of the painted world of Artemis. This is fairly embarrassing on my part to die this many times. But, ah well. It's the price I pay for not having video editing software. Now, I kind of wish I could just fall off this ledge into the courtyard there. Which is where that door opens up to, by the way, is just directly in front of Phalanx. Maybe I should just run past him and open the door this time. And he gets to cast that fast. Q. Kind of sounded like they were grunting jingle bells there. Now, what I'm going to do is incredibly stupid, but I'm just going to run and avoid all these enemies. And if you wanted to go up the staircase, this is where it is. It's also the way back around to get the Black Cleric robes. Oops. Now, I know you can backstab these things. It's just hard to pull off. That's probably going to kill me. Nope, all good. Except there's crows down here that are going to try and kill me. So what we're going to do is we're going to say 50,000 souls, not worth the price of me actually running past these guys to open up this shortcut. Phalanx can also throw his spears, or their spears, however you want to see them, as a single entity or not. What I should do is retreat back to the bonfire, use the shards I've been collecting to upgrade my gear, so that I don't continually get run over by these things. Now, luckily, bone wheels suffer from the same thing that all skeletons suffer from, and that's if you hit them with a heavy weapon, they just kind of fall over and fall to pieces. Now there's my souls. This is going to be bad. You can see you just grind up against your shield until he breaks your stamina and kills you. Now he should be on his way back. There he is. A few. Now you can see I've ground up a huge number of souls here. The annex key is a very useful item. It opens up kind of a secret-ish type path. Now this area is very wide open coming up for bone wheels to hide in. I saw one just down here. I'm not sure if he saw me yet. Yep. Gonna come rolling at me. Miss. There's a staircase up out of these catacombs. Ah, yes. That's where that leads. Up here. And you get a unique pyromancy spell called Fire Surge from this guy. He's easy to kill, but he's still toxics. Usually you have to fall into here from up there. I forgot that the staircase was here. But since there's a lot of dead bone wheels, but still a lot more, I have 75,000 souls, which is a decent amount of souls, in all honesty. Shit. Double bone wheel. Gonna turn that corner real quick. Bone wheels don't corner that well when they're rolling. Shit. Heal again. He'll be back. But he'll walk until he can roll at me. We'll let him grind up against that wall and take him out. Oh, seems one of Phalanx's pieces has made it down here. So we'll see if we can bait him into attacking. He's got a decently large shield. And he fights with a partisan, so even if you attack him while he's attacking, you're more than likely going to bounce off his shield. So, much like fighting any spear-using enemy, you either dodge to where his shield isn't, or you have him impact and bounce off your shield. Now, this wide open area is extremely dangerous. There's bone wheels everywhere in here. But this little crank opens up that door that was locked by some contraption up there. So we now have a straight run from Bonfire to the area boss. All the shortcuts are now opened. And since I don't particularly want the red soapstone or the black cleric set, it's a lightweight set, it's good against magic. You can collect it if you want. But I'm a little apprehensive, and I'm just going to die here. Thank you, bone wheels. While I was hunting for a homeward bone. I should have just kept running. Alright. But now with this area shortcut open, it's a little bit easier to get back down there. Although I really don't want to go back down there. That's far too many souls to give up on. That's a lot of levels. And I'm going to kill these guys off so they don't poke me in the back. The annex key, by the way, is what you need to get up into an area. to get Velka's rapier. And it's a little different than normal rapiers. It still has the standard rapier attack pattern. Just gonna open up every corridor I can to try and... Goodbye, souls. Fucking bone wheels. That is the biggest ass move ever. I should have equipped a Ring of Sacrifice. Oh well. Now that we've lost all the souls that I've accumulated while I'm in here, I am excessively pissed off. But now that we have nothing to lose, might as well just keep pushing forward. I should have fucking put that Ring of Sacrifice on. God damn it! Not that it would have mattered anymore. Painted World of Artemis. Place where dreams go to die. Anyhow, with that, I am a little bit too angry and distracted to continue, so I'm going to end this episode here. Have a good one, guys.